What up, everybody? In Power Book 2 Ghost, Season 1, Effie told Tariq that she accepted the fact that she was a monster when she turned him in at show. Then she proved it all the more when she tried killing Lauren Baldwin in Season 2. Then again, all the more when she betrayed Tariq again with Noma at the end of Season 3. But with all that said, Effie still has never officially caught a body because her attempt on Lauren's life wasn't successful. And Lauren later recanted her statement that it was Effie who tried to kill her, or that someone tried killing her at all, making it almost impossible to ever arrest Effie for that crime again and giving her a clean slate. And this is a good thing considering that she has plans to eventually get out of the life sooner rather than later by transferring to Stanford to get her master's degree in robotics. And Effie could have potentially already been gone if she would have done the interview she had scheduled instead of helping Kane out with the Russians in episode 2. But since then, Effie hasn't had much of a role on the show other than trying to complete an essay to make up for the interview she missed. Another chance of getting out of New York and Stansfield and getting a fresh start in Cali. But at the same time, Effie's still the plug for the Ivy Leagues, moving Noma's way, as well as the direct contact between Noma and the Russians. But strictly on the side of the law, Effie could get out the game today and never look back because as far as we know, she doesn't have any bodies. When I tell stories about my time in the game, I get some people saying things like, how do I got a story for everything that happens on the show? And others that claim I'm self-snitching. First off, I don't have a story for everything that happens on the show. But at the same time, spending 10 years in the game, I can relate to a lot of what happens on the show as well as the fact I come from a messed up family like most of the families on Power. My mom went to prison when I was in the 2nd grade, and she also taught me how to lie like most of the mothers from Power. First, before she took the plea, she told me that she didn't do anything, but she got to go to prison for a while anyway. Then she told me that if anybody asked me where she was, to tell them that she wasn't feeling well. This is anybody other than my father and my aunt, uncle, and grandmother on my mother's side. But my father had 9 brothers and sisters, so I had a lot of cousins I had to lie to. And it was cool for the first couple holidays. But when year 2 came around, my cousins started telling me things like my parents were getting a divorce, they just didn't want me to know about it. And me, knowing my mom was about to be home in a few months, I'm doing things like fighting my cousins and saying things back to them like my mom was going to be feeling better real soon, you just wait and see. And as far as self-snitching goes, either though I don't go back to my hometown like that, I made it out the game as clean as a man in my position can. This is because I was a non-violent hustler, so I don't relate to the violent side of the game like that, other than having to protect myself and making sure I didn't become a murder victim. I said all that to say, Effie is the one character from the show who's in the game other than Diana, who can really say they can make it out the game clean and never have to look over their shoulder like that. Because concerning the rest of the characters, there's no statute of limitations on a murder. That could come back and haunt somebody years later. I'm talking about Davis McLean killing the person that Theo went to prison for. Kane killing Rail. Even Tommy Egan and Ghost for killing Breeze. It goes as far back to the person's first kill and could come back to haunt them at 80 years old. So right now, Effie is not at the point of no return. Because like Tariq said, his first kill started a cycle of shit that he can't get out of. Because it's almost like the same thing as lying and trying to cover up one lie with another lie. It's the same thing with catching a body. You might have to catch another one immediately if there's a witness, or in doing whatever you got to do later on to cover up that murder, even if it includes committing multiple more, and just creating a cycle that you can't get out of, like Tariq said. But because Effie is deep as she is in the game, there could always come a point where she has no choice, where it's either kill or be killed. And she ends up catching a body anyway for her own protection. Because we already know from her trying to take Lauren out that she isn't scared like Brayden was. And like Effie told Lauren, she did what she did because Lauren jeopardized Effie's future. And this could have a couple meanings, as well as two things being true at the same time. Effie could be talking about Lauren being a snitch, jeopardizing her future because she could end up getting caught up in everything if it all went down. But at the same time, as much as I can remember, Effie wasn't caught on the wire or anything about her. So when she said Lauren jeopardized her future, she could have been talking about her future with Tariq. Because when she admitted to Kane that it was her who took out Lauren, she said she did what she had to do and took out her own competition. But with that said, we do know that Effie will kill anyone who is standing in the way of her future, either though she hasn't done it yet officially. This is similar to what Ghost told Tariq about killing Breeze, that Breeze was standing in the way of his future, so he forced his hand. This is also exactly what Tariq told Ghost before he shot him, that he was standing in the way of his future like Breeze was standing in the way of his. So someone could definitely force Effie's hand to do what she got to do by standing in the way of her future. And we know that includes Stanford. And either though, as long as she don't catch a body, she will have some kind of future. If she gets arrested for any kind of felony, this would change her future drastically. Because with a felony record, she might not get accepted to Stanford, and it would definitely affect her getting one of those good robotics jobs. So just like she tried killing Lauren for wearing a wire, this could also be how Effie does catch her first body if someone she knows gets locked up and starts snitching. Possibly someone like the girl she was messing with in season 2 and is her distro at Yale. Then there's the fact that Diana is pregnant with Tariq's child. And when Effie finds this out, she's going to be very jealous. And just like she potentially tried killing Lauren over Tariq, she might try something similar and find a way to take out Diana. But if Effie does eventually catch a body, personally, I think that the most likely candidate would be Noma. Because as of right now, the one person who is standing in the way of Effie getting to Stanford for real is Noma. Do you really think that Noma is just going to let Effie out the game like that to move to California? If anything, Noma would let Effie move to Cali to go to school at Stanford, but force her to keep moving product in Cali also. But Effie wants her freedom from the game like she wrote on her card in the classroom in season 3. Effie's description for season 4 concludes with saying that she's a survivor. So at the end of the day, she's going to do what she has to do to survive. And it was also Effie's idea to initially target Anya in the first place when she saw the painting at Lombardi's mansion, and how Tariq got Anya's info as well. But at the same time, I could also see Effie killing Noma, thinking she's about to get out the game, only to be forced back in the game anyway from another angle. Similar to how Ghost thought he was out the game after killing Lobos, only to get stuck working for Milan. Possibly Kane gets Effie to help him take out Noma so he can get her spot. Then either Kane, Noma's plug, or even the Russians would force Effie to stay in the game. And there you have it. Leave your thoughts, theories, and predictions in the comments.